This is a Just a Position podcast, and all of our balls are swollen thanks to the COVID vaccine. Okay.
True. True.
Today we have Steve with us, myself,
Hey.
and Randy isn't with us today. Unfortunately, he had some things come up. So we have a guest on the show today. His name is Chris. You can see him there.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah, no,
watching,
Randy's replacement just for this week. We'll be, he'll be back next week, folks. No worries.
yeah, and if you're watching the live stream, you'll obviously see him down there. So there he is. But yeah, today we are doing console maker power rankings. So you can see on screen. I'll read our current setup for the audio listeners. We have Nintendo versus Atari, Xbox versus Sega, Sony versus or Microsoft versus Sega, Sony versus Odyssey, and Television versus Neo Geo.
And real quick, just the Odyssey is Magnavox. So the manufacturer of the Odyssey was actually Magnavox.
Okay.
Like your old TVs with the big tubes and stuff.
And the television is Mattel.
Yeah, that shit was before me. Way
And
before me.
Yeah. And Neo Geo is SNK. So if you've
Yeah.
seen like the old fighting games like
Yep.
SNK versus Capcom, early shit, that's where that comes from.
Yep, that does make. Yeah, I do actually know what that is. Okay. But all right. So, Steve, I know you wanted to talk about that comedian, what's his name, Norm death that happened today.
Damn, put some respect on it.
I don't know. I'm sorry. But you
So
can go.
yeah.
It's
Norm
Nom
Macdonald.
Nom McDonald, kid. I'm gonna shove this kid's head under the bubbler.
So Norm Macdonald, very funny comedian, one of my all-time favorites, one of the all-time greats. Unfortunately, passed away today. It's fresh news. Turns out he's been battling cancer for almost 10 years, just kept it secret, which is a very Norm Macdonald thing to do. If you aren't familiar, he was part of SNL, Saturday Night Live in the 90s. He did Weekend Update. He ended up Dirty Work was his first starring movie. Then he had the Norm Show, but I think most people know him from either being a guest on talk shows when talk shows were a thing, or his stand-up. Very funny, very dry wit comedian, very my brand. One of my favorite stories about him is he actually got fired from SNL because he would not stop making fun of O.J. Simpson and referencing, him killing two people. And an executive at Saturday Night Live, Don Allemeyer, was best friends with OJ and told him to stop. And instead of stopping, he just kind of doubled down and just went after him even harder and ended up getting fired. Which I think, you got to respect that. It'd be a lot easier just to shut your mouth and make money, but you don't want to sacrifice that, whether that's stubborn or, integrity. I don't know. Funny motherfucker. Definitely recommend you go check him out. I think I know, Chris, I know you know him, but Dimitri, I highly recommend you check out his stand-up, or at least some of his guest appearances on Conan and shit like that.
Yeah, his interviews were pretty good too. Always funny, or like always super dry, and sometimes the interviewer just can't get a grasp on him at first. So yeah, there's a YouTube rabbit hole that you can dive into to find out more about him.
Yeah, and his Conan got him. He and Conan had great chemistry. I think Letterman did as well, but Conan for sure. So yeah, go down that rabbit hole. I'd start with the moth joke. It's like an 8-minute, just goes on and on forever, and the punchline is fucking perfect. And the story behind that is he did a segment and they went to commercial, and typically after a commercial they go to the next guest or the musical guest, whatever. During the commercial, Conan's like, yeah, we got 6 more minutes, and he was not prepared for that, so he just kind of made the moth joke up on the spot, just fucking freestyling. Fucking works. It's great. Yeah.
What a champion. Sucks to lose him.
Yeah.
That's like,
yeah.
I may not be as tuned in as I should, but that's like what, the second comedian death so far within the last 2-3 months, with Trevor first.
Yeah. Trevor was a shocking one too. Both way too young. I think Norm's 61, but 10-year battle with cancer. It's fucking nuts. And I guess we don't know, and the family doesn't want us to look into it. So I haven't really investigated what happened to Trevor, just that it was an accident, which is fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.